Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Christina McNeil, and this is MB12 for Monday, August 6, 2012, broadcasting from the Cable 12 studios on Robinson Road. In news tonight, Oakhill Road residents concerned an abandoned hotel may be harboring potential criminals. Patients responding positively to treatment for deadly bacteria at PMH. The Bahamas celebrates Emancipation Day, and a talented young woman's dreams come true. We have those stories and much more coming up tonight. Your MB12 starts right now. Joining us. Police say urban renewal has yielded tangible dividends in many over-the-hill communities, and the demolition of rundown structures used to conduct criminal activity has been a big part of that. Now some residents of the Oakhill community off East Bay Street would like urban renewal to take similar action on a former hotel that was left to degenerate into a deplorable state and is reportedly becoming a magnet for crime in the area. Charisma Robinson reports.
Residents say the abandoned hotel right behind me has been a thorn in their side for months. People who live near the building say it attracts crime and drug addicts. The residents say the last owner walked away from it late last year and slowly it fell into poor condition. They say it looks like it's ready to be condemned and should be.
It deteriorated and the Joneses just bring it back to nothing. They take all the copper, everything, they already steal everything out of it. The only thing need to do not need to drop on the ground.
What is this? This a haven. This a haven. You got bases, you got thieves, you got robbers, you got guns, you get everything hiding here. And we ain't the only two who call.
Now the residents did reach out to urban renewal officials a few weeks ago for help and were told that the building could not be torn down as it is bank-owned. But Miller and Gray say that if the building cannot be torn down, urban renewal officials should at least come to hear the concerns of some of the residents whose houses have been broken into repeatedly over the past few months.
Well, I've been living through here all my life, and this the worst it's been around here. We already have like a stigma for the drugs and the different things happening through here. Now we got to worry about purse snatching. People, when they snatch the chains and stuff out of people's car, they running through the yard. This hotel at night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, when it ain't bram, gunshots, different stuff. I've been to the urban renewal too. And nothing happened. It's not safe. The minute you see dog drop, this road don't be, nobody really outside. Because you see so much strange faces, you don't know who is who.
They need to step and do something. Don't just brag about being down. Everything is being down. Come up in the Oakhill area. We need help. 5 years ago, I asked Laurie to in a bottle with speed bumps. Little girl get dragged. A lamppost just get knocked down in Oakhill last night. I had to stand in the road to direct traffic so people don't run into the lamppost and get electrocuted. Mine belong to the bank too, and they knock it down. If they can't knock this down, the government might as well reimburse me for my money for my house in Pinewood Garden. If they can't knock this structure down, they knock mine down. And the same thing they say going on with mine going on here.
When our news team spoke to Urban Renewal Coordinator Superintendent Stephen Dean today, he said he was aware of the situation and as of tomorrow, he will push for the owners to clean up that property immediately. If that doesn't happen, Dean says Minister of Works Brade Davis can use his authority by law to have that building demolished. Reporting for MB12, I'm Charisma Robinson.
Well, good news coming from the Princess Margaret Hospital, as Public Hospitals Authority Managing Director Herbert Brown has revealed that one baby who was diagnosed and treated for a potentially deadly bacterial infection has been discharged from Princess Margaret Hospital. Brown says the baby was discharged on August 1st. However, 5 babies who have tested positive for the colonization of Acinetobacter baumannii are still receiving treatment in the neonatal intensive care unit. Of those 5 babies, Brown adds that 4 have been removed from the ventilators. 1 baby remains on the ventilator for an issue not due to the infection. Last week, the PHA revealed that the bacterium killed 2 babies and infected 6 others. Later, it came to light that 4 adults in the intensive care unit also tested positive for colonization. Today, Brown said the 4 adults are improving, and that spells good news for how patients are responding to the treatment. However, he notes that the hospital continues to be vigilant. You can read more about this story in tomorrow's Nassau Guardian. The Fox Hill community and the rest of the Bahamas today celebrating 178 years since the emancipation of the African slaves in the Bahamas and the then British Empire, which came into effect on August 1, 1834. Celebrations began with an early morning Emancipation Day rush out, which featured all of the major Junkanoo groups and was followed with an ecumenical service at Fox Hill Parade. Deputy to the Governor General, Dame Margaret addressed Fox Hillians, reminding them of the importance of living the freedoms that are expected of them. She says Bahamians must not take the freedoms they now enjoy for granted.
Celebrations such as these should remind each and every one of us here this morning, and all of us living in these historic communities, and all communities nationwide, that we must not take these freedoms we now enjoy for granted. We must not allow ourselves nor our generations to forget the years of struggle, the years of pain and suffering, nor the blood, sweat, and tears that went into making today's freedoms the norm as opposed to the exception. Let us take the opportunities such as these to remember to practice the charity, the tolerance, the mercy, and the grace that is so associated with the freedoms that have been so hard won for us as a people, and live the kind of freedoms that is scripturally expected of us.
Fox Hill MP Fred Mitchell noted that Fox Hill stands as the sole community left in the Bahamas, which after 178 years dedicates this time and effort to ensuring that the work of our ancestors is remembered.
In this connection, the government has seen it as central to our Bahamian ethos to support the festival with its resources and not leave it to chance. I think we have shown that this year. The bathrooms are repaired, the basketball court has been repaired and resurfaced, and general sprucing up has taken place. More is to come with a complete redesign and upgrade of the parade grounds and an honest-to-goodness effort to improve the revenue potential of the festival itself for the people who live and work here in Fox Hill.
The Fox Hill Festival Committee has planned a number of activities for the next few days, culminating in the celebration of Fox Hill Day on August 12th. Residents can take part in the customary Fox Hill Day festivities, such as climbing the greasy pole and plaiting of the maypole, as well as a live band performance. Well, the way of life for generations of African descendants changed with the abolition of slavery in 1834. However, younger generations may not appreciate the significance of just how far human and civil rights have come. That's according to the Assistant Director of Culture, Eddie Dames, who sat down with MB12 to discuss the observation of Emancipation Day. Dames says the Middle Passage journey from Africa to the Americas and Caribbean was the beginning of slavery for many Africans who were torn from their homes. He says that journey alone was responsible for the deaths of millions of Africans and was just the beginning of a life of servitude that may be difficult to relate to nowadays.
Between the span of the 1500s and the 1800s, out of 12 million slaves that left Africa, only 10 million of those actually arrive in these areas. And so that horrific voyage of the Middle Passage, younger generations will never have an appreciation for.
Dames describes some of the hardships slaves endured before they even set foot in the Caribbean.
These millions of people were transported in harsh conditions in the bowels of the boat. And one of the great writers said that they were stacked in shells, and they were allowed to come out and stretch once a day. And this time is when, of course, the shells were washed, because in their tight squeeze conditions, feces, etc., were exchanged and created disease. A lot of them were blinded by disease.
Dames encourages generations of Bahamians to learn more about their history and heritage by visiting cultural sites including Gambier and Fox Hill on New Providence. And the Constitutional Reform Committee, appointed to make key recommendations on constitutional changes, including gender discrimination, is set to meet in a matter of weeks. Former Attorney General Sean McQueenie tells MB12 that although the committee was just appointed last week, it is ready to hit the ground running to begin examining the Constitution nearly 40 years after it was first made law of the land. The first commission, appointed by Prime Minister Perry Christie during his first term in office, examined whether or not the English monarch should be removed as the head of state of the Bahamas and how a democratic parliamentary republic would work in the Bahamas. McQueenie says this time around the commission will take a closer look at some of the previous commission's recommendations, as well as engage in rounds of public consultation to determine public opinion on various matters. To that end, McQueenie says after establishing a secretariat, the commission will launch a website that will allow members of the public to engage the commission on a range of constitutional reform items. However, he notes that public consultation will not be as expansive as it was the first time. He adds that new issues are bound to come up, but the focus of this commission will be a number of items that were left hanging by the last commission, items that may not have been satisfactorily answered or canvassed by the first committee.